Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, evening, afternoon, Tuesday, GM. I was listening back to one of my streams and the music seemed really low in the background. I couldn't hear it. So I'm experimenting with different music volumes. So let me know if it gets too loud. All right, this will be an open stream. I have a tweet or two I want to share. And then I had a conversation with the AI. And then I'll open up a panel. But before that, let's see what's happening in the news. Israel targets Hezbollah. Smoke billows into the sky over Beirut after Israeli airstrike. Oh, yeah, there's a Secret Service testimony in the Senate today. Maybe we could watch some of that later. What? Stabbings at a Taylor Swift themed dance class. I don't even want to know about that one. Um, okay, so that's the news. Let's look at. Hey, Daniel Barry, sports highlights. If this was a real like TV station or news channel, I would get you to come in and do the sports segment every day. Give us the actual sports highlights. I'd say now we turn it over to Mr. Daniel Barry to get today's sports highlights or something like that. um, Twitter tweets. Oh, I never did check it with the Satanist. Maybe I'll do that too. Let's see. There was this one. Okay, so y'all know about the white women for Kamala with that girl on the Zoom that was telling all the white women how to talk to black people. And then they had the white guys for Kamala last night, which I saw a few clips of, and I was, without even knowing much about it, I just found it hilarious. The stories that go on in these people's brains. They're the conspiracy theories I hear on here make me kind of sad that people believe that. And the left makes me sad that they believe the stuff they believe too. But it's also fun. Theirs are so funny. It just makes me laugh at some of the things that they believe. So those two things are going on, and there was a tweet that caught my attention, and I actually commented on it, but I didn't really hear back from the tweeter. It says, "Why did the entire left go feminine and gay? Why aren't there masculine communists who still stand with the working classes?" I think I want to talk about masculinity today, and I want to talk about this feminine and gay distinction, if there is one, and why I think everything should just be trans at this point. But I find way more masculinity in the working classes than anywhere else. Um, so my question was, and I've asked this before, the difference between feminine and gay, because when people talk about something as gay or gay in relation to a male, they usually mean he's feminine. He's acting gay, he's talking gay, he looks gay. That usually means feminine, or if you're applying it to a woman, that she's masculine. So I'm not sure what the difference between gay and feminine is. Like, I don't know why the tweet couldn't say, why did the entire left go feminine or get feminized? That would include the gay men that are part of it, because not all gay men are feminine. But then what is gay if it doesn't mean feminine? Before I encountered the rest of the world, I knew it to mean, and the way I applied it to myself was, it was attraction to the same gender. Or in the case if you were a guy, it was attraction to other guys because the women usually call themselves lesbians. So for me, that's what it described, what you were attracted to. Um, it wasn't a way of expression. It wasn't a the only thing. It was an adjective, but the only thing it could be applied to was your attraction, your erotic desire. Um, Outside of that, it didn't have any meaning for me. So when people are described as gay or things are described as gay, it sounded like they meant feminine, but when it was applied to something male, this adjective switched to gay instead of feminine. They could easily have said he looks feminine or he talks feminine, but they say he looks gay or he talks gay. But to me, they mean the same thing. So for the left to go feminine and gay, I'm not sure what the difference is. Um, and it's not all gay people. It definitely got feminized in the sense of feminism, but I don't know if it got gay. If getting gayized is separate from that. Anyway, so that confused me. So that's one of the things I wanted to try to figure out, and it got me thinking about this. How there's this like white men or men in general, but particularly white men are the new gays. They're like the new outsiders, the new persecuted minority, the new group that has to be self-conscious if they proclaim too proudly that identity. I mean, I don't see at this point why there couldn't be a male pride or white male, straight pride or white male pride. Um, I think every group can make the case for oppression. The Red Pill documentary definitely makes it for men, and every group can see their identity positively without it being racist or sexist or offensive to some other group. Um, so hey, let me pull up the AI. You know, I'm very skeptical of this concept of patriarchy. I think it's more of a myth than anything else, or even a conspiracy theory. Like the anti-Semitic conspiracy theories is there's this secret group of Jewish people that are controlling the world, or there's Jewish people in government that are more loyal to Israel than the US, and oh, isn't it just obvious? And oh, wouldn't you be if you were in that situation? Is about as hard of evidence as I can get for that. Um, it's kind of like that. There's this group of men that either is currently or at some point in history conspire to set up a system that only they benefited from, that disadvantaged everybody else, and we're still living in that system, whether it's still being perpetuated consciously or not. None of that makes sense to me, first of all. Second of all, men are highly disadvantaged in many areas of the system. And so I wanted to see what the AI, and I specifically used the woke AI, the Google version, Gemini. So here's what it had to say about the patriarchy. I said, why do some people think the US is a patriarchy when it clearly isn't? The United States has made significant progress towards gender equality, but it's important to understand that the term patriarchy doesn't refer to overt oppression of women. Oh, that's interesting because they always make out like it does. Like we are, and this is the woke AI telling me this, that we live in a system currently that intentionally or deliberately does or was intended to oppress women. But the AI says, no, no, it's important to understand that's not what we're talking about. Instead, it describes a system where, okay, and then there's several bullet points. One of them is power dynamics. Okay, listen to the adverb that he starts with. Historically, power and decision making have been concentrated in the hands of men across institutions and social structures. This creates an inherent advantage for men. So historically, it was one way, and this creates present tense. I'm not sure about that disjunction there, but I'm talking about 2024, the United States, 2024, patriarchy. Social norms is another one. Traditional gender roles are often place a greater burden of domestic and caregiving responsibilities on women, limiting their opportunities for advancement. Wow, well, growing up with a single mom, which was common in my generation, they did everything. They did the domestic stuff and they went out and earned a living. They did all the roles. Systemic inequalities, even with legal equality, so they acknowledge that we're equal under the law. They got they can vote now on property. They have their own credit cards, all that stuff. Even with legal equality, women may face discrimination in hiring. You have to prove that, don't you? Isn't that like a legal thing and you have to show discriminatory intent? Pay and leadership positions. These biases can be unconscious and deeply ingrained in societal structures. So here we have biases, the unconscious bias, the implicit bias, the superstitious bias, and biases which are human, they're an artifact of human consciousness, are also somehow part of these inanimate societal structures at the same time. These inanimate, non-human structures also have these biases. Very confusing, at least to this Berg. Okay, here's another one that I have big questions about. Representation. Women are underrepresented in positions of power across various fields, certainly not in academia, not anymore. I looked at the trends a while back. From politics to business to academia, no, no, sir. Get your facts right, Gemini. This lack of representation can perpetuate existing power imbalances, which he already said was historical. Very confusing. Recognizing these systemic issues doesn't mean the US is perfect, but it highlights the complexities of gender inequality. Y'all should watch the Red Pill documentary, and why the concept of patriarchy is still relevant for understanding societal dynamics. So it's not the same thing as we're living under a patriarchy. It's like a model they use, a conceptual model to understand societal dynamics. But if the conceptual model doesn't correspond to reality, like if you use astrology or something, why would that be the best model? Like, why couldn't you find a better model that actually reflected social dynamics as they are? Which they seem to have changed here in 2024, because all the AI is telling me is this historical stuff, which let's see if he can clear it up for us. Because my next question is, none of that sounds like the modern world of 2024. In some areas of the legal system, it is men who are heavily discriminated against, in fact. Okay, the AI. You are absolutely right. I know I am, AI. The concept of patriarchy is complex and doesn't perfectly fit every situation. Okay, this is your woke AI once again telling you we're not talking about correspondent truth here. There are instances where men face disadvantages, such as child custody, domestic violence. There's the Duluth model, highly misandrist. Um, while women, let's see, mental health, we have the highest suicide rates. We're less likely to seek help, etc. It's important to acknowledge that gender inequality can affect both men and women in different ways. A nuanced understanding of these issues is crucial for promoting true equality. Can we have true equality when there's that much of a power differential between the two genders? And this comes from the women themselves saying this. Can we have true equality? Or do we just need to plan for society as it is with the gender differences as they are that are going to keep showing up over and over? I said, wouldn't the lack of representation have to be intentional to be a patriarchy? Like the fact that there's less women represented would somehow have to be by design for me to qualify as patriarchy. AI says that's a great point. The term patriarchy often implies, see how subtle all this stuff is? These are not people that are trying to communicate any definitive concrete reality. These are people that are trying to manipulate. This is pathos. This is not logos or even ethos. The term patriarchy often implies a conscious, deliberate system of male domination, you would think. However, the reality is often more complex and insidious. So it's more insidious than if it was consciously designed. Ooh, that's sinister, like it's some mysterious force. Where does it come from? This is scary. It's starting to sound like a horror movie. All right, number one, listen to this one. This will be familiar. Unconscious bias. Many decisions are influenced by unconscious biases that favor men, even without malicious intent. We have no free will or anything, and we don't make choices about what we think or beliefs we hold or anything. Yeah, what a bleak dystopian universe this comes from. Systemic barriers. This is that human bias transferred to inanimate structures somehow. Again, these living forces behind the scenes, like ghosts. Societal structures and norms can create barriers for women to advance, even without explicit discrimination. Societal structures and norms. Okay, we'll have to explore that more. Historical legacy. Talking about 2024, where we're all our own people now. We can all make choices about what to do from this point forward, and in fact, we have for most of my life. The historical dominance of men has left a lasting impact on cultural norms, expectations, and power structure. So nobody can change their culture. They're stuck with these norms. They can't consciously adopt a different norm. They're imprisoned by them because they happened in the past. It sounds like they're the ones living in the past if they can't shake off these norms. While it's essential to acknowledge instances of discrimination against men, it's also important to recognize the systemic advantages that men often enjoy. I would say the same thing about women. These advantages can be subtle and difficult to identify. Okay, well, then when you get better at identifying them, take them to me because I don't want to have to do all this detective work for you. When you figure out what these are, because they're so subtle that you can't even identify them, I don't feel obligated to worry about them yet. It's that vibe. This is all vibe epistemology, but they contribute to ongoing gender inequality. Okay, what's an example of an existing patriarchal norm in 2024? This is what he gives me, 2024, y'all. Even though many households, here's the norm. The expectation that women should primarily be responsible for childcare and domestic labor. Like I said, even in the 80s, I watched this break down. Even the 70s, really. So this is the norm from the 50s. This is the housewife staying home, doing the laundry, making dinner, the man winning the bread, etc. They're saying in 2024, this is one of the norms that still oppress people. Even though many households have dual income earners, the societal expectation often persists that women should shoulder the majority of the domestic responsibility. How do you quantify, how do you observe, much less quantify and calculate a societal expectation and where it persists? I'm interested in the methodology here. This can lead to unequal workloads. So if women work full-time jobs and then have to come home and handle childcare, cooking, cleaning, and other household tasks, you know what? Almost every mom in the 80s that I knew because most of my friends were single mom, single parent homes, did all this. None of them complained, and they had a social life outside of that and friends. Maybe the women of today just don't stack up to the women of the past, and this is cope. Career limitations. The burden of childcare can limit women's career opportunities and earning potential. How is that patriarchy or anybody's fault? The stuff they're trying to lay at the feet of men doesn't sound like anything that men are even responsible for. The constant pressure to balance work and mental health impact. That's the third. We're responsible for their mental health. The idea that men are somehow in the past or are currently conspiring to create a system that gives them advantages and disadvantages women is responsible for their negative mental health. Because to me, that's a subjective experience, and you're responsible for your own subjectivity. Like like somebody outside of that subjectivity certainly could not possibly be responsible for what's going on inside of it. The constant pressure to balance work and domestic responsibilities can contribute to stress and burnout for women. That is patriarchy. That women are doing all this extra work and burning out is patriarchy. It's a social norm that they're forced to adopt. They can't opt out of it. They can't say, no, I'm not doing that. That's not the life I want for myself. I'm going to choose to do this, this, this instead. They're forced into this norm. It says this is just one example. It's important to note that these norms vary across cultures and socioeconomic groups. So I say none of that sounds like patriarchy, nor does how adults choose to run their household seem like a societal issue. Once again, you're absolutely right. The term patriarchy can be applied too broadly, and it's important to avoid generalizations. Oh, lucky for you, that's what we do here. We take those broad, generalized applications and we narrow them down to concrete specifics. I love doing that. That's one of my favorite things. The specific example of household labor division is a complex issue and probably subtle, huh? And insidious and hard to identify. Issue influenced by individual choices. Aha! Even the AI says individual choice is a factor. And as long as that's even one of the factors, you cannot close that door because I can work with that. You give me just a mustard seed of personal agency and I can work with that and get to some empowerment. So these are not, you're not a victim of a patriarchy, ladies, or anybody else. Cultural norms and economic factors. That's interesting. They keep bringing up this economic factor stuff. I wonder if it could be more class than gender. It doesn't necessarily reflect a systemic power imbalance inherent to patriarchy. Funny, that's what I was saying the whole time. Are there other modern examples of actual patriarchy or patriarchy social norms? Modern examples. Workplace dynamics, the glass ceiling. Supposedly that's an invisible barrier. Again, in these invisible things, subtle, invisible, cannot identify things, subjective, preventing women from advancing to the top leadership positions, even though like almost every boss I've had except for two in the last 20 years was female, while narrowing the gender pay gap, underrepresentation in STEM fields. Again, is that a conspiracy? Are the men conspiring to keep women out of STEM? Or are there other factors like, I don't know, individual choice? Media representation. We'll take it up with the media. Disney's messing with representation and they're losing a lot of viewers over it. People like authenticity. They don't like fake engineered experiences. Or maybe they do. Underrepresentation of women in leadership roles. How is this patriarchy? Women are often portrayed as sexual objects. So are men. So that's what humans do. They lust after each other. That's a natural part of being human. That's not patriarchy. Social norms and expectations, gender stereotypes. The only ones working off of them are the gender, the alphabet people. These can limit opportunities and expectations for both men and women. because they're forced into them and they can't make a choice about what stereotypes they want to follow. Body image pressure. So now the patriarchy is responsible for how fat people feel about themselves. Societal expectations of female appearance can be harmful. Okay, again, what forces you to follow them? Who cares what societal expectations are? You're a free human being. Just like people try to sell you every product under the sun. You don't have to buy every single product that flashes on your screen. Nobody's forcing you to adopt every single societal expectation that comes your way. Take some responsibility, my God. It's crucial to remember that these are potential areas of patriarchal influence. So it's a mysterious influence now. It's a vapor. And that progress has been made. Yay, progress. However, addressing these issues is essential for achieving gender equality. I ask if it thinks the glass ceiling is intentional, and it answers no. I don't believe the glass ceiling is intentional in most cases. While there may be instances of overt discrimination, the glass ceiling is often the result of, guess, unconscious bias, stereotypes and prejudices that unconsciously influence. So people, when they're making a decision, they're not conscious of their choice. They're not thinking through the choices. Their choice is being influenced without them knowing it into one way or another. Then we're screwed. If every human being, even the ones in leadership, are these passive vehicles of unseen influence, then we're already fucked as a society. We're already fucked. What do we do if that's the normal human way of being, psychology? Then we're screwed. Like nobody's making decisions anywhere, and never have they been. Systemic barriers. These are broader issues. They're so broad, I bet you can't even see them. Within organizations such as lack of mentorship opportunities for women. That's the patriarchy, that there's not mentorship opportunities for women. That's this conspiracy of men. It was our responsibility to provide. So when women don't get what they want and can't create it for themselves, that's patriarchy. Are inflexible work policies that disproportionately affect women. I would like an example, actually. Um, all right. And cultural norms, again, the ones that everybody's forced into. Society expect about leadership roles and gender can create challenge. Maybe women are just poor leaders. Maybe they don't, especially when it comes to leading men. Maybe they don't know how to talk to men and relate to men and approach men in the way that is going to be most effective for getting the results you want. And maybe that's true for women under male leadership as well. It's important to distinguish between intentional discrimination and these more subtle factors that contribute to the glass ceiling. Inflexible work policies, disproportionately affecting women, rigid work hours, traditional 9 to 5 schedules, the ones they sign up for when they take the job, that they know in advance what their schedule is going to be, is an inflexible work policy that affects women because of childcare and household duties. Again, I have my own parent to go off of, and if she can do it, I don't have any sympathy for anybody that complains and pretends like they can't. Limited parental leave. Okay, there's room there for talk, and probably some workplaces have made progress on this. Lack of on-site childcare. So now employers are supposed to provide childcare at work too, and if we don't, that's patriarchy. I hope I've blown this myth open as much as possible. And I'm interested in several things. Where do you see patriarchy? Show me the patriarchy. And I'm interested in this distinction between feminism, femininity, and gay. Is it the same thing? What is gay? If it's not, what is gay? What is masculinity? Um, I know it when I see it, and I know femininity when I see it. It's intuitive, it's subjective, it's probably observable if you break it down to all the little atomistic components that make up the impression of femininity and masculinity. So that's the topic I'm offering today, but of course you're welcome to talk about whatever's on your mind too. There's the link. And there we go. Come on up. Oh, let me do comments. Mike, Plasma, hey. Mid-size Sasquatch. Are you related to Caucasian Sasquatch or Barbie Sasquatch? And what's the difference between Sasquatch and Sasquatch? Is it all Sasquatch? I'm up here in Washington. I feel like I should know this. Bigfoot. Sasquatch. What's Sasquatch? Sasquatch is a Japanese math rock band. Oh. Okay. Hey, Angel. Welcome to you too. Let me see if I have any more Twitter. Yeah, this patriarchy stuff irritates me. And I noticed the Kamala side trying to play it up. Like they're playing identity politics, not only with like explicit groups like white women for Kamala, white dudes for Kamala, but then they're painting like the JD Vance and the Republican thing as the white male convention or the white guy movement or whatever. So everything's group identity with them. And I want to live in an America. I want to get back to the America where we're all individuals. We're all proper names. Here, I don't know if y'all saw, I'll play this. I don't know if y'all saw this. This is a guy that went to protest. He went to like a Biden rally and he wore a Trump t-shirt, and he went to a Trump rally and he wore a Biden t-shirt, and the different responses you get from the different groups. So I'll present this. It is barf.
Watch as this guy goes to a Biden protest in a Trump shirt and a Trump event in a Biden shirt. You can clearly see the difference between Trump and Biden supporters.
I'm right into the Biden protest with the Trump shirt. Get your ass across the street. What the f*** is everyone so hostile?
Go over there with your people.
You guys are my people. Look.
No, you're not. You're Trump supporter.
No, Biden says children, not Trump. No, stop. Don't snitch. Stop, I'm blending in. No. Why is everyone so angry? I'm just
dumb or stupid.
I'm just walking the sidewalk. You see how much hate it is over here? It's a public sidewalk. I feel like I'm gonna get jumped out. Oh, man. When you poured water on me, did it make you feel happy?
Yeah.
I have to change shirts. Can I hide behind you? Okay. Okay. I was feeling crazy today. Hey, come on. It's just so much more respect over here. I'm here for my favorite president, Biden 2024. I want to sniff children.
That's how Louisiana was. You see how chill the Trump support. Like, that's why I want to move to a red state. Like, it's completely reversed. When I was growing up, it was the liberals and the Democrats that were, I still consider myself a liberal, classical liberal. They were the chill ones that were not stressed out about everything. And the Christian right was the ones freaking out and all uptight. It completely reversed. They have a sense of humor now. The left does not. Hang on, there was something else I wanted to show. Oh, well. Let's see, hierarchy. You're always going to have part of it. I think it comes down to some people can accept human reality as it is, human nature, and build society around it. And some people idealize themselves, so they have a hero complex where they're capable of living from a higher nature. And if they isolate themselves with the same, it's Plato in the garden, like it's Platonism, and you can develop your purify yourself and develop yourself enough through communion with the one, the true archetypes, the true reality, the intelligible world, and gain insight into reality and lead other people. It's the moral guardians. But again, it's that subjective. I guess religious people do it too. I'm going to bring on a guest. We have Jess.
Hey Jeff, how are you doing?
What's up?
Can you hear me? Oh,
Yep.
how are you doing today?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I got a surgery. Well, a little like, well, yeah, I do have a
You get
surgery
surgery
tomorrow.
today?
So no, tomorrow, kind of. Well, it's like they got to do endoscopy. Like you know what an endoscopy is, right? Where they
Oh,
put it
is
on
it
your
like
throat.
just the periodic one you have to do?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
still got to go under and everything. So,
Mhm.
but it's in for like it's part of a big surgery that I'm having coming up like in a few months. So,
Oh.
but other than that, I'm good. Did I interrupt your watching some videos?
Oh no. No, I was just going over some Twitters. So what's up? What's on your mind today?
I'll be honest. Last or this Sunday, my dumbass got drunk and I made a fool of myself.
On panel, like in front of the whole world?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
And I'm kind of like, don't want to like face the world, but you know what I
I don't know
mean?
if you think anybody will even notice with this crowd.
Oh, they did. They
Oh.
did. It's all right, but I won't do it
Whose panel
again.
was it
But
on?
I don't want to talk. I'll talk. I'm
Oh,
just
okay.
embarrassed. That's all. I'm just embarrassed, but it'll be
I've been
okay.
there too. Even before panels in person. I've been there. Yeah.
And I don't usually drink, but you know, I did, and it was just one of those days. Because after that the surgery I was talking about, like my big surgery to come in a few months, I won't be able to drink for ever really. So
Oh.
almost ever again, pretty much. So Sunday was kind of like I'm just gonna like splurge and go stupid, and it was stupid, and I shouldn't have done it. I should have just, or I should have just gone to the bar and been around other drunk people. I would have had more fun.
Oh, is that what's happening nowadays? More drunks or finding
Well, no, I'm,
companionship at home?
I guess, but no, I should have just gone to the, or just hung out with just should have gone to the bar instead of, you know what I mean? Because the bar is more social. You're around people, you talk, blah blah.
Yeah, but it was always a bunch of drunks. I never had
Yeah,
fun getting drunk at bars
oh.
around other drunks.
But if you're drunk and they're drunk, then sometimes you can have fun,
It is fun, but it's sad and pathetic at the same time, and I was always conscious of that.
Oh, yeah. But no, I don't drink that much anyways, and that's probably my last time I'll ever drink. So, and that's good. I mean, you know, so it is what it is.
So it's kind of like a Mardi Gras, a permanent Mardi Gras.
Yeah. But anyways, but how's your week been?
Oh, pretty good. Nothing out of the ordinary.
That's
I live
good.
most of it on here, so.
Well, that's good. But no, I just wanted to hop on, see how you're doing, and say hi.
Are you still gearing up to do a channel?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I am. I just got to get everything all situated. My husband's got some stuff left to do, and I gotta find out what my YouTube password is. I know that's silly.
Oh, you have the account, but you're locked out of it?
Well, I have an account like what I'm on right now, but I don't know. It's been so long since I've used. You just sign into your account. You know what I mean?
Is it saved in your browser, or can you do the forgot my password thing?
Maybe. I'll have to look into it, but yeah, I mean, I'm probably thinking I gotta look into it. I know my husband's gonna help me, and I'm gonna do it, but it's gonna take a little bit. Like probably have surgery tomorrow, so I would say next week or something, or maybe get some more information. I still don't know about StreamYards or OBS.
Does OBS let you have people on?
It does, but they have to go Discord, and you can put. I know you.
Oh, you have to do it through Discord. That's the thing about
Yeah,
StreamYard is it just opens it up to so many more people because all they have to do is click the link. All you need is a browser, really.
that's true. Yeah, but I'm gonna have to if I can get a hold of her. Well, when I was talking, I don't know if she wasn't. I'll have to go look, but take a look. On Sunday I talked. I don't know if you've ever heard of Torsha.
It's not ringing a bell.
She's got about 1,000, maybe a little bit more, probably more
Oh, she's way out of my
subscribers.
league.
And I was talking to her. She's one I just hopped on her panel on Sunday, and I was talking to her, and I was like, and we were actually having fun. And I was like telling her that about I was hoping to get my own channel, blah blah blah. And I asked her if I could interview, if I could interview her, like she could be my first interview or whatever. And she said, sure. You know what I mean? So we'll see. That should be interesting.
You just randomly found her?
I've been on her. I've seen her and I've watched her. So she's been I've been subscribed to her. But
Oh.
I just was like, I had the guts because I've been drinking. So I was like, there's other people on her panel, so I'll hop on too. But anyways, she said that she would, come on and let me interview her. Which, that would probably be a little bit, because first I'd want to do my channel and see how it goes and stuff. And I don't know. We'll see. But I just, other than that, make my mistake like I did Sunday, grow from it, and just pretend it never happened.
Yeah, if it's just that one panel, like these panels drop out of people's consciousness pretty quickly. They're going to
That's
move on
true.
to something else
No one
in less than a week.
cares. No, I understand. Yeah, no one cares. Just when you make an ass
Unless
of
you get
yourself.
hate watchers, and then somebody will go back to that one panel and clip from it and weave it into some kind of montage about you.
That will be fine. If I get hate watchers, plus nice people, that's fine. I mean,
Sometimes
you're
they
expected to
can
get hate
help grow
watchers.
your channel.
Yeah, exactly. Hate watchers help grow your channel too. So we'll see. And if nothing, like if I just sit there and talk to the wind, that'd be good too.
It might be that way for a while. That's how
Yeah.
mine was to start. You just have to keep. It takes persistence. You have to keep doing it till something happens.
Yeah.
And going on
Yeah.
other panels helps too, because then that's how
Yeah.
people find out about you.
Yeah, I had this one person. She told me that she saw me on your panel, and I can't remember who else's panel, and they said that they liked my personality or my intellect. And I was like, oh, that's really sweet, So is what it is. But
Yeah, personality always helps. I tend to think,
yeah,
or hinders.
yeah, but yeah. So so you were looking at some Twitter stuff. Was there any other to look at?
Mid Bro is streaming. Let's see who he has on the panel. He streams vertical, so I can't tell
Oh,
who's on. The names are so tiny. But he's doing the FBI testimony.
oh, you
For
wanting to hop on over there?
well, probably not going to go on his channel, but
Oh, okay.
I might stream some of it. Well, now he's
Yeah,
begging for subscribers. Surprise, surprise. He's at
probably my best stream I've ever
part
had.
of his broadcast where he
Thank you for
begs
everyone
for
for being here.
subscribers.
LB, new person, Mayo, always, Varun, and of course.
See, I can't see who's on.
Side,
Who
which
are
is where
any
the
of those
shot came.
people?
Nothing about man on the roof. Nothing about man with
Yeah,
a
I
gun.
can't either.
None of that information ever made it over
I
our
hate
net.
vertical.
So that will change?
Yes, sir. We are working right now to figure out the interoperability and also make sure that
Oh
we
my God,
do
this is
have
already so
access
boring.
to those channels, whether through the counterpart system or some other means.
Very good. Ranking Member Paul, you're recognized for your questions.
Bullshit, it already exists. Director, I'm encouraged by your
And I got
attitude
excited.
today.
All right. This is my guy. This is my champion. Get it, Rand Paul. Dr. Paul. Not a doctor like Joe Biden. This dude's an eye doctor, which is people try to belittle the fact that he's an eye doctor. Bro, eye doctor is cool, man. Who doesn't want to see? He's a doctor. So don't get into
He's
it.
an eye surgeon.
Hold on. What'd you say?
He's an eye surgeon.
Oh, even better. Come on.
You
What
just
are you
kind
saying,
of belittle
Ellie?
the fact that Dr. Jill Biden has a doctorate.
I
That's
did,
what
yes.
doctor means, doctorate, not just medical doctor.
Quit trying to compete with Rand
Listen,
Paul
it
and let him
does.
play the
It does.
video.
Okay.
You're right. I guess you're
Okay.
working on one. Sorry, but
Barney,
All
take
right.
the show
you have
back.
to understand. I come
I'm
from.
not working on my doctorate.
Don't let some little
I'm
You have
just
to
putting the
understand.
fact out.
round
The
globe
common person hears
tell you
doctor
what to do.
and they make a medical assumption.
Yes, like I used to do that for years. I was that ignorant. I was that stupid.
You're being ignorant
Someone's
right
like,
now.
call me
Play the
doctor.
video.
I thought they were over here
Quit
performing
engaging
open
with
heart
this
surgery. I was
troll.
really that ignorant.
The
And I
same way
feel
Rand
strict.
Paul isn't a virologist.
What? Rand Paul is a medical
What does
doctor.
virology
He's not a
have to do with
virologist, though,
anything? The
right?
point is he's a doctor.
Well, so what? He's still a doctor.
Okay, but that matters.
He had to go to medical school.
This is this the blue
pointing that
globe?
out.
I
Rand
can't
Paul's a
stand
joke.
this.
Dr.
Come on,
Fauci-
here's
Really
this
say.
globe.
Dr. Fauci is a disease. Dr. Fauci is a
This
disease,
is a this
and I
is
found the
pure
antidote,
troll
and it's right here in
trollery.
front of me. Dr.
No
Rand Paul.
way.
the
He's
Fauci
trying to
Institute.
hijack the entire
Fauci is
conversation
actually
as
an
long as he
immunologist,
can
not
from
a
Rand Paul.
virologist.
That's fair.
Oh, put that in your
This is how
pipe
we
and
used to
smoke
That's
it,
prank
fair.
LB.
calls growing
Put
up.
that in your
Try
pipe
to
and
keep
smoke
him
it,
on the
girl.
phone.
Go
But
back
he
and
has
get your
a better
PhD.
understanding of virology, which you need.
It has
How
nothing
do
to
you
do
know?
with
How do
his
you know?
claim
How do you-
or the
Sir,
video,
he hasn't
sir.
served in a
You're
laboratory
inserting your
or
ego
a
into a
medical
conversation that has nothing
since
to do with you.
Ronald Reagan was president.
I
Whoa,
agree.
yeah.
And
He-
Barney
doesn't
is
mean
he
letting it.
can't
I can't
direct
watch.
Go ahead.
This is too painful. Oh, I had such high hopes for my boy. He's still in training, though. We're working on it.
We're working on him.
Like BO trash. Well, maybe he'll watch this stream later.
Yeah, he's been doing the I've noticed he started. When did he start doing vertical?
I don't know, but I
Possibly.
hated it. I will never do it again. And my number dropped. I lost a subscriber when I did it.
Oh, you lost.
But supposedly he's been getting viewers over it, so he keeps doing it. I don't see how. I
Yeah,
just
the
turned him
layup.
off.
Yeah, the layups just it's not good. I don't know. But
Well, that is
like-
the Panelverse offering currently. Anyone's interested?
it's like
that's what's
they
out
say
there.
it's like because TikTok is like that. They lay up, so they're trying to think. The vertical will get the youngins around.
Oh God, I don't want the youngins. They can go over to PF Youngs.
You could have them.
Yeah, I'm not taking kids to raise. I'm still trying to adult myself.
But
Well,
oh man!
Please don't tell me that was
with-
the most exciting thing happening, though. Oh God.
talking about with the politics. What are you going to cover a little bit of politics here and there, or because that's it's going to be?
I think I'm going to let other people bring it to me. I do the news and I go over the headlines for the day and stuff,
Yeah.
but I'm trying to stay out of the back and forth political theater for now because I know it's just noise from both sides, and so I'm going to let
Yeah.
all that sift itself out. And when it
Yeah,
gets
that's a
close
good
to
idea.
election, then I might start digging into some of the issues.
Yeah, that's
But I
a
am
good
going to make
idea.
my positions known as I cover other topics if they relate to the
Oh.
election somehow.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think that'd be probably the best way to handle it, especially if you're. I mean, I know you're interested, but not like you don't. You're probably not as interested. Am I wrong or correct? Or you just don't want to talk about it, just right
I mean,
now.
I definitely would prefer one over the other, but I'm not. I'm not. It's too far in the future. I have no. It's not even worth me trying to talk about because there's too many things that can happen between now and then. It's the same reason I don't like conspiracies because it's just spinning out random stories that have no testability or falsifiability. Any political narrative between now and November is going to be the same way, and it's just going to frustrate me.
Gotcha.
It's
Well,
just surmise. It's just speculation. I like
Yeah.
real things.
that makes sense.
Like this
Where's your
this FBI testimony would be more interesting to me if they weren't so boring. I feel like I'm at like a HR staff meeting or something.
we could have done this over email.
No,
Sent out a
or
mass email.
come bring them on a panel or something. At least we'll liven it up a little bit.
Yeah. Us we're like Americans are one of the most proper people when it comes to like politics stuff. You know what I mean? Like even in Britain, they yell and they scream and they're all hyped up, you know, and we're all just proper. We sit there and we
I think
talk.
it's because most Americans don't even care.
So
Yeah.
Senator,
Like
while
how many
there's 90
Americans you think are
minutes
watching
in total
C-SPAN
from when he's
right now to
first
see this
identified
guy?
by local
I'm
law
not even
enforcement,
watching it.
we have about a 30-minute window.
I'm not sure.
But in no time
Rand
is
Paul
there
was
anything
talking,
ever
but
communicated about
missed it.
weapon or harm. And I
Not
think
talking
that's
about
where
a
the
weapon.
threat.
A weapon, you shoot people with a weapon.
Sure.
Without a weapon, we're talking about people you stop and say, he had a backpack, which was probably big enough to have the AR-15 in it. In all likelihood, the backpack has the weapon in it. So a guy with a big backpack would never get through the perimeter. So once again, a big mistake was not having the perimeter wide enough to prevent people from shooting outside the perimeter. But the thing is, he would have never gotten through the perimeter, right? His backpack would have been checked. But people with big backpacks are very suspicious. And I would think he's been seen 6 times, but you got 20 or 30 minutes of knowing about it. But the thing is, there's all kinds of chatter going on about this. And you would think the chatter going on with the local police is on a police radio, and a policeman with that radio is standing in the control tent, so you get that communication. So there's a huge and massive breakdown. But really, my question is, how often has this happened at other rallies where there's a half a dozen pictures and 90 minutes of people talking about a suspicious person? I just can't imagine that it's real common.
So, Senator, at rallies, there are people that come to the attention of law enforcement for a variety of reasons. You know, if they come to our attention for some other activity that might, you know, put it a little bit, hey, we probably need to go check that individual out.
Like
This
somebody carrying a
happens, and that's why we attempt to locate them. That's why it's important for us to try to find them. And it's important to have the information. And so local law enforcement did their very level best to try to locate him. They did provide us the photos 30 minutes prior. He evaded any detection by law enforcement.
Didn't he have the crowd pointing out saying, hey, look, he's over there climbing that building?
Did I just hear that they had a picture of a suspicious guy for 30 minutes before the shot?
You're on mute, Barney. Oh, no, never mind.
Can you hear me?
I'm sorry, I can't take that globe. He's ruining my entire Tuesday, and I can't let that happen.
Oh, you're tired too. But yeah, like Ethan, you know, I don't think you shouldn't really be able to have backpacks to like a rally type thing, like with with the potential president of the United States.
It does, like, just the setting. It was like an open field. There was some highways around. It didn't seem like just a secure place just in general. So
yeah.
I don't know why the security was as lax as it was.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume negligence, incompetence.
Yeah, it always, whenever I see a potential candidate or even the president, if he's outside, I'm like, no, go inside.
I know, ever since Reagan, he was just walking to the car.
I don't know, but not that anyone should. I don't know. I'm not really surprised that there was an attempt. I'm glad it didn't happen, but
I didn't expect it at all. I didn't see it coming at all. That completely from either side. I didn't think we were at that level yet. I don't know
You
why,
didn't?
but I didn't.
I did. I did since he
So now we
started.
know there's random lone crazy people out there on any side potentially.
Yeah,
Very radicalized. I wonder what could have caused that.
I don't know. Just have they said anything more about the guy or just
I haven't heard, but I'm not
yeah?
really following that either.
I know some people don't like to give attention on people like that. Just let
He
them
was one of these
not.
troubled kids that probably spent too much time on social media or in the wrong
Yeah.
discords.
Mm.
But none of that propaganda works if there's not something in that person that wants to believe that on some level in the first place.
I agree.
And I don't know how
Or
they
there's
get to the
something.
point where those that's even a credible narrative of our country.
Yeah.
But everybody
Or,
lost their minds in 2016 anyway when Donald Trump got elected. Their brains broke. I watched it happen. And
that's
we
perfect.
see that we can still see the aftermath of it in the like white men for Kamala, white women for Kamala thing.
That is true. People's minds. I like that.
It's
People's
they're
minds.
soaked in racism. They see racism every damn where. Like we're living in the Watchmen or the KKK days.
Yeah. We'll see. I don't know. I think everything's just broke. Brains and I know the big C didn't help anything. Just feels like nothing's been. I mean, life's been good in a way, but it just hasn't been the same. Does that make sense? Just been
Mine's
off.
been exactly the same, but that's because I never came out of lockdown.
Oh, that's understandable. Just seems like it's been off a little bit, but we'll see. Like I keep saying, in 2 years, I would not be surprised if we're having World War III, and I could be completely wrong, but I honestly think,
Like with
you know,
nuclear bombs flying through the air, that kind of World War III, or
oh,
like
I hope
a
not. I hope
fifth
I
generation
no.
warfare.
I think that the Iran and why can't I think the Gaza, and Russia, like they're all going to get together, and then I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong, but that kind of war. I hope not like nukes flying. Nukes flying. That's scary. I don't want to know. Even if that could happen, I don't want to think about it like that. But just like another war type thing. But we'll see. I could be completely wrong, and I probably am.
I don't know. I just don't know how to calculate the future. I don't know how to. I didn't see Ukraine coming. I didn't see COVID coming. I have no idea how to look forward in time and make any kind of prediction about what to expect. I've never known how to do that.
Yeah.
I think
I mean,
we're
I
always
don't
going to have geopolitical conflict because we always have. And
Yeah.
most of my life, we've made it through. We've had people in leadership that have gotten us through it. And I've never had to worry about really anything major. 9/11 took us by surprise, and that was a big deal. But for the most part, I don't have any reason to suddenly have this apocalyptic end of the world World War III scenario playing in my head. I just Christians do that with the rapture too, or the
Yeah.
the apocalypse. I don't have the brain circuitry to generate that if there's no reason to generate it.
Yeah. No,
I don't think the plane is crashing. I don't even think we're hitting turbulence, really.
I
And
gotcha.
so I can't freak out about a plane crash if I don't see any, like the wing's not on fire, the engine is still working. I can't
Yeah,
make
that
my
makes
mind generate these scenarios if there's no reason to.
yeah. I mean, there is a reason. I mean, like I said to you, or like I think I told you the other day that I stopped watching the news because it just got. I have anxiety, and it just got to be too much. And I mean, I know enough to where I'm not like some dumb person, you know. But I used to watch news all the time, and it just would make me too anxious, and you know what I mean. I already had too much stuff going on in my real life to see the outside world, you know. So I just stopped and, you know, just kept up with, you know, the major current events. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's how it was during Trump for 4 years. That's why Biden was such a relief at the beginning, because I didn't have
Yeah.
to run to Twitter every 5 minutes and see if the world blew up. I could relax and not worry about social media anymore. It was stressful.
Yeah.
4 years of Trump was stressful. But that's because I was a doomer. I bought into Russiagate, and I bought into the end of the world scenario. And that's what made it stressful. But when I saw through that and saw that there was no reason to think that, the stress went away. So the narrative is what feeds the anxiety, which keeps the narrative going through confirmation bias. It becomes a feedback loop. So the initial seed that causes panic in the first place, the origins
Yeah.
of is what's interesting to me.
No, yeah, I see that. I mean, I'm not here going, oh my God, in 2 years it's going to be, you know, this is going to, but I'm also not like, if in 2 years, if it happened, like, you know, I won't be surprised. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not, dooms are all the time. I'm a very silver lining type of person. And I'm pretty awesome. I'm pretty optimistic type of person. You know what I mean? But, you know, sometimes you have sometimes the glass is half empty for me. But, you know, you have balance. Sometimes it's, you know, does that make sense?
Um, I, I'm, I'm trying. I think I kind of know what Lou means here,
Yeah, that's
but
why I
then
don't
I
watch
don't believe
anymore.
anybody. I don't think anybody causes stress. I think you're accountable for your level of stress. So all the media could do is put out data or information, and then there's an interpretive responsibility on everyone that
Yeah,
consumes the information. So, like, you can have 100 people consume the same media, and they're not all going to feel stress. So there's a
that's
subjective
true.
intrapersonal element that contributes to whether someone feels stress as well.
Yeah.
So it's not
No, I
like a
agree.
direct external causation.
No, yeah, I definitely agree with that. Like I told you, I don't watch the news as much as I used to because I couldn't take it. So I said, you know what? You know, cut that part out for me so I can, you know what I mean? So,
The most stressful thing happening right now is we might have a DEI president over a non-DEI president, and the DEI can get worse. The idea that people are racist are going to get worse, that the hostility toward males are going to get worse. So that's the most stressful possibility. And even that is 4 months away, and I'm prepared for it, and I've lived through it before. So I'm not like my mental health is not suffering over the possibility.
well, that's good.
I think the people cause the chaos. I don't know what chaos you talk about. Do you mean like George Floyd and that kind of stuff? The people that were out in the streets doing the chaos are the ones that caused the chaos. I don't think you know me. I don't think people are passive victims or of invisible forces or biases or anything. I think we're agents with free will, and we make choices. We're mature adult beings that make decisions and choices every second of our day that we're accountable for and responsible for. Whether it's an action, choose to take a certain action, choose to refrain from taking an action, choose to hold a belief, not hold a belief, to be influenced by something, not be influenced. Those are all choices that are in our capacity to make if we choose. Even that's a choice.
Yeah. No,
So
I
people being
understand.
at the mercy of media or government or invisible forces or a zeitgeist or whatever have less cognitive sympathy from me, because I know what just like I said, just the tiniest little degree of empowerment can do. It can eclipse all of that. So
Yeah.
when I hear that, I think, oh, well, those are people that are not self-empowering. That's all that is.
Oh, there's a beautiful hawk by my pool.
Oh, wow.
like beautiful.
Like in your
Sorry, didn't mean
yard?
to cut. Like it's kind of cool. Sorry, I was like, you don't usually see hawks just hanging out.
Is it in your yard?
It's in my well, yeah. Now he's
Oh.
not somewhere. He was in I have a pool, my frogs and stuff. You probably
Oh,
want them
right, the
frogs.
frogs. Now they have a hawk. Hope the frogs are okay.
But it was beautiful. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Jeff. It was just one of those moments where you're like, oh, gotta take that in.
Nice.
But yeah.
Well, Lou,
I
I'm doing my show. If I'm difficult for you, just go find another panel. Don't come on here and tell me what to stop being just because it's not meeting your standard of what you. That's ridiculous. You knew. Hope you watched my stream enough to know if you say something like this, I'm gonna react. Don't tell me what to be. You can turn the channel. I'm gonna be what I am. I'm not adjusting it to you or anybody. I don't even know who you are. I'm giving my authentic, honest reaction to things. And if that's difficult to you, you know where you could take it. And it's not here. It's not to me. That's that stop trying to socialize me. I'm not your child. I'm not your husband. There's no role in my life that you play a maternal part in at all. No woman does. Ever. Or ever will.
Yeah, I like I like your attitude because in order to be, that's a good thing. In order to be on YouTube and have your own channel, you do have to learn how to not care and not give a, you know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, I have that one down. I never had it. Even as a kid. I didn't care. If my mom or the adults around me didn't like something I was doing, I didn't care.
Mhm.
That was them. I didn't have a problem with what I was doing.
There you go. Like I do see, I might have a little bit of thin skin, but I think, I can grow on it, like, or I can thicken it up. I mean, I'm not a complete, you know what I mean? I mean, like I've been told that you're too nice, and like I think I
Is
need to
it the
learn just to let it
agreeableness that
roll
women
off.
are known for, like they're higher in agreeableness or people pleasing?
Probably, yeah. Yeah.
And again, I'd be interested in the rates of that versus men, but if women have that tendency that they're always going to defer to somebody else as though they have a higher authority than they do, how do you have equality? How do you have egalitarianism where when one half of the population has a tendency to see the other person as at the end as on the other end of a power differential, either instinctively or through
Well,
experience?
me as a woman, I've never ever thought someone was lesser than I thought I was lesser than people, but I've
Yeah, that's
never
what I'm
thought
talking
anyone was
about.
lesser than. Oh, you mean I
How do you have equality if you think you're less than other people and are constantly deferring to them or trying to please them or put their needs ahead of yours? How do you have equality with
I don't
that
know. I don't.
psychology?
You know what? I don't know, and I don't. You're right. That's like some like I remember. I was in a therapy session once, or whatever, and I would say, I would say sorry a lot. Like to people, I'd be like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm
Oh,
sorry."
they do
You
that
know what
up
I'm
here a
saying?
lot too. They apologize for
Yeah.
everything. Even when
And
they didn't do anything wrong, they apologize.
and I remember and I should go back to it, but I was doing pretty well. But the guy was like, don't say sorry if you like say if, like I accidentally interrupted you. Instead of saying sorry, Jeff, I should say like, Jeff, I apologize. I don't even apologize. Like, oh, Jeff, I interrupted you. I didn't mean to do that. Instead of saying I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like it's not like I killed your cat or anything. I just accidentally interrupted you. And I shouldn't, have to say I'm sorry because that's just silly. Because we're gonna
Was
do
it
that on the
accident?
phone.
Can you accidentally interrupt some? I say that I assume is like when people interrupt and they know that they're doing it and they choose to just do it.
I think if there's a lot of people are talking at once, and sometimes you think they're done talking, and you can say, and you go to say something, you're like, oh shoot, you're like, oh, oh shoot, I didn't mean to, sorry. And I immediately, if I interrupt someone and I know I did, I will say, I'll say, I'm sorry, and I'll stop talking and I say, please finish what you're saying. Did not mean to interrupt. You know what I mean?
That's like the people that get to the stop sign. Nobody knows who to let go, and they sit there. That frustrates me so much.
That's true. But yeah, no, I don't, I don't know why. I mean, I wouldn't say all women feel like that, but you're
I
right.
know
It is a
like
lot
when
of
they
women.
do the big 5 traits, they say women are higher in agreeableness and neuroticism, supposedly. They're hard, ladybug, yes, and they're hard on men too, especially men they perceive as vulnerable, like the Spurgs or sometimes the gays. God forbid you be both. And this is why on reality shows that I watch, like Survivor and Big Brother, it's very, very rare that a women's alliance will hold together for very long. And every year,
Mhm.
the women get together and they're like, this is going to be the year, ladies. Let's make this be the first women's alliance that actually, and it never does. Every single time women try to pull off a long-term
Mhm.
group working together, it always implodes because of the infight. Every single time. I can think of maybe 1 or 2 seasons where a woman's alliance actually made it to the end.
No, I can see. I mean, I'm not that type of girl, but I do understand that there are women like that, and you can usually you usually know you can usually tell the woman, the one who's gonna blow up, in in your group of friends when you're
I
just
would
little
love it if
girls.
I could tell. Because I'm usually the one they're blowing up on. And another thing, I don't know if it's a specifically female trait, but I notice it in women way more than men, is lack of object constancy. Because when a woman's threat sensors get activated, all of a sudden you're not the person that they've known their whole life or for years and years. Like, look, I'm the Jeff, I'm the one you built trust over. When they're threatened, all of a sudden you are a danger, and they can't draw on that prior knowledge of you to stabilize that image they have of you when they're under threat, that object constancy. They can't keep a stable image of you in their head. And men can, they can. And so when I'm fighting with the man, they can draw on their total memory of who I am over time. And when women are in conflict or threatened, I just
Mhm.
become a danger. And the fact that I was this trusted, stable person for years and years and years goes right out the window. Oh, ladybug, you should. Actually, they really didn't until I moved up here to the Pacific Northwest. It's a whole different type of woman up here. They're very empowered and entitled and used to getting their way over fussy little nonverbal social things.
I don't know. I'm not your typical person. I mean, I'm not that tip. Usually I'm pretty quiet, and I just till recently, um, it took a lot for me to decide that I was going to start doing the panel thing. You know what I mean? Because I'm pretty introvert, and I'm pretty I'm shy as much as you know what
Oh,
I mean. And it takes a lot for me to get out of my shell, and it takes a lot for me to kind of not maybe trust to an extent, as much as you can trust someone online. You know what I'm saying?
be careful in
Oh no,
this
no, I know. That's what I'm
in
saying. As
this
much as you
medium.
can trust.
I would
You know
put
what I
that
mean?
as much as you can at 0 to be safe.
A zero.
Yes, I would put it set it at 0 to start
Yeah.
and keep it as close to 0 as you can. You don't know who your audience is ever, or who's watching, or what their
Well,
motives
yeah.
are.
I wouldn't be like, here's where this is my ad.
But doing panels will help with that. I've seen it help a lot of people with their social skills, and introverts. A lot of autistic people have thrived because they've got to interact on their own terms with other people similar to themselves, or at least more
Yeah.
tolerant.
Yeah. That's what I'm like. I'm looking forward to, like, if once I'm able and my husband helps me more and I do get all that nice stuff set up and everything, and I can get on my own channel, and if then it's my channel, and if people do want to be on my panels or whatever, that'd be awesome. But I don't have to be like, I'd be in control of my channel. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? I don't have to be afraid of stepping on, I mean, I would be a polite host, of course, but you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't have to be afraid to stepping on the host's toes, because I'm the host.
Yeah, that's why I mostly stay on my own panel. Because when I go in other panels, that's exactly what happens.
Yeah, I've noticed you do that. I don't really notice you like, what's the word? Panel hopping or whatever.
No, I used to, but it got rough out there. Because I was doing it to community build, and the opposite was happening. I'm like, if this is not going to build community, and if it's actually going to destroy community and my own mental health, this is not the path to keep going down.
Gotcha. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes some sense.
So I let all the freaks come to me now, and it seems to work out.
Well, that's good. You do get a lot of people come on your channel. Good amount. I don't know where they're at today.
I hope they're all subscribing. We're almost there. Yeah, I don't know where they are either. Let's see who's streaming. Is Talcott coming up? No, he still has a ways. Sitchin. Oh, midlife, the testimony. That's really it, though. So there's no excuse, people. Get over here and tell your friends. You think there's anything better on Netflix? No. This is where this is where it is. Okay, the white guy is still talking. Even the globe's quiet. Yeah, Ladybug, you too. Take care. Glad you stopped by. Oh, on flows. Yeah, possibly. I've been on those a few times.
Hey, Lynn, hope you're doing okay. I wanted to write in the chat, but it said like I had to, what's the word? It said I had to like sign in something. I was like, no, I'm okay. I'll sign in later because I didn't want to drop off by accident. But yeah, I do enjoy your panel. You have like, I don't know, like I know you said you can go. I've told you this before. I think you're very kind and you're very welcome. And you're like, no, I'm not, but I think you are.
Well, because people say that, and then they get, like I said, the object constancy. They never remember that part when we're fighting, and all of a sudden I'm this demon or this monster. I like overnight I become demonized, and so it's happened enough times that I know when people think I'm this nice, polite, whatever person, and we have some kind of conflict, that's all going to change. So I try to prepare them for that. But I guess maybe without having the experience, there's no way to really prepare for it.
Yeah.
But I start out nice. I start out polite till
like till they piss you off.
I guess so.
Which I mean, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jeff. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I mean, like I can understand. Like, let's say, like me and you were talking, and then like we were just getting on each other's nerves or whatever, and we just got frustrated with one another or whatever. I can see like walking away for maybe a few days, and then like coming back and be like, "Hey, Jeff, I apologize for my part." Blah, blah, blah. But I wouldn't like, I think it would take a lot for like, I don't know. I'm not that type of person really. And I am being honest when I tell you, you're kind and you're welcoming. So.
Well,
you can take it or leave it.
I will continue to try to be that.
And I appreciate, I think I've learned. I think I've learned more from you than I have anyone else, really. on how to be a panel
People
person.
keep telling me that. I'm glad. I'm glad some of it's rubbing off on a few people. I'm trying to do my part to at least keep some truth and reality and sense making among all the chaos. I know we have information overload. That's probably not going to change in the foreseeable future. So being able to
Yeah.
process it all and make sense of it, I try to help where I can. I'm doing it myself. I don't know what's going on either. Maybe there are reptile people.
Maybe there.
I'm pretty sure of one thing: the Earth is not goddamn flat. This is an oblate spheroid. I'm not going to budge on that one.
Yeah, I wouldn't budge on that either. I would be like, I can't. I'm going to push you. If it's flat, I'm pushing you off the edge of the earth. Come with me. Let's go.
Right. No.
But, oh yeah, you're it's early where you're at.
It's about 1:30. Everybody's off taking naps. Otherwise, I would probably be in the Discord watching our latest season of Survivor that we're into.
Oh.
So Frank, if you're listening, don't sleep too soundly. Hopefully I'm not waking you up, making all of this noise. Oh, look at all these boobs that suddenly showed up on the panel. Frank, you don't want to miss this. All right, let's see if that works. If I influence his dreams.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's all I got going on. I'll probably be out. What's today? Tuesday? I'll probably be out here tonight. Like the Mandela effect, that's freaky. That is, Mandelas are freaky. I've got to admit, because I fall for almost all of them too. Like the Monopoly guy without the monocle. I swear he had that monocle. I didn't imagine that as a kid. How would that get in my brain?
That is weird.
I got that from somewhere. I don't even know what a monocle is. Like, we as kids, we did not have monocles. None of the adults I knew had monocles in their jewelry boxes or their jars. So how would I know to put a monocle on this character if he didn't come with one? There's no way. He had to have a monocle.
That is,
no.
he didn't have a monocle. Did he have a
They said he
pocket
does
watch?
They said he's never had a monocle. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, it is weird. Like, and how they always get that, Luke, I am not your.
That's another one.
Luke,
And I saw the
father.
original Star Wars when it happened, and still thought he said, Luke. What does he say? I am your father, Luke, or Luke, I am your father. What does he really say?
I can't remember, but damn it, now I can't remember what he really says. It's in my, when you have your knowledge, it's like in my brain somewhere, but I can't. Luke, no.
He says
it's something I can't remember. But yeah.
He says, I am your father. So what's the only part we got wrong is that he says Luke.
Oh yeah,
if only you knew the power of the dark side. Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father. He told me enough. He told me you killed him. No, I am your father. That's how it goes. So, but we remember Luke. We remember him directly addressing Luke, and that never happened. Why do we remember it that way?
I don't know.
Luke. I'm telling you, he didn't. That's what's so freaky. I saw the monocle too, but they're saying no, it never existed. It's crazy.
And
let me look him up. There's got to be a Monopoly man with a monocle out there somewhere.
Well, the whole reason why the Mandela effect is called the Mandela effect is because people thought he passed away in the 80s. Like, everyone thought this guy's, was passed out. That went in private chat, right?
Huh?
I put something in back chat. That went in back
Oh,
chat, not
okay.
in regular chat. Did it go in
Oh,
back
they
chat
made
or?
it into a trailer, maybe. Mr. Peanut, is that what's happening? We're confusing. I remember Mr. Peanut. Are we confusing? Because that's a more naturalistic explanation that our brains are just confusing the characters. That makes way more sense. It makes me feel less insane and the world less conspiracy. Thank you, Daniel Price, for saving our sanity. That's all it is. We just got it's mistaken identity.
Mistaken identity.
We mistook an old white guy for a peanut. They both had top. It was the top hat. See what fashion can do.
I don't know if anyone thought this. Remember Jared, the Subway guy? Well, of course,
Yeah,
he's grown.
I do.
Well, me and my husband for the longest time, I don't even know like how we thought he died, and then one
Oh,
day, he popped up on the news, and he wasn't dead. He was a p word, and we're like, what the hell? I thought he died, and we thought it was weird. We both thought he had died. It was weird. I don't know how we got that wrong. Probably.
there's a lot
Did
of
you ever?
celebrities that I'm surprised are still here, and I hear that they died. I'm like, oh, still,
I thought they were.
they died again.
They died. Well, yeah, I think it was a few weeks ago. Bob Newhart passed away.
Yeah, he's one of them. Well, it's the death march. It's just, you get to that age, they start dropping off.
And that whole everything comes in
Yeah,
3 rules. Or what you say?
Simmons died. Hope died. All those old people. Is Betty White? She's gone for sure now, right? She's final. She's out.
She's final.
Okay.
Betty
Just
White
making
was the
sure.
final girl. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. I can't remember.
Good. That makes it easier. So there's no more Golden Girls. They're all gone. No lives left. Okay.
When you were younger, what were your show? Did you watch TV with like some of your or shows with your parents?
Well, not with not with our parents. No, oddly enough, hardly ever with the parents.
Oh,
Like you had those annual specials that would come, like the Wizard of Oz would come on once a year, and the Hobbit cartoons. So that they would sit around with us and watch. But mostly it was with just on our own or with our babysitters. We'd watch The Price is Right every day with our black mamas. And that was one of the most entertaining. Like, where do you go from The Price is Right as a kid when that's your like morning TV? It was like an hour and a half, or I was the Power Hour. What TV show is going to have all of that in it after that? So there was really nowhere to go from The Price is Right. So that was like a big bonding experience for me and my siblings and our babysitters, our caretakers. But then in the evening, me and my friends like the black sitcoms, the Jeffersons, What's Happening. I don't know if you count Benson and Different Strokes as black, but they had black people in them. And 227, stuff like that. Cosby Show in the 80s. Those were always the fun sitcoms. The white people sitcoms just seem boring compared to the black ones. And we like the action shows like The $1 Million Man, The Dukes of Hazzard.
yeah.
Those kind of shows. The Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, that was that was wrong. That's my husband. He's 9 years older than me, so he's like Gen X kind of. Not kind of, he is. So he's got those, you know. I loved Cosby Show, of course, and I watched Full House and Home Improvement.
The white ones.
And
Yeah, I
Roseanne.
remember those.
All the white
Roseanne,
ones.
Roseanne was a whole new genre of sitcom. I remember Roseanne, and that kind of changed. And then Married with Children. I think that was about a year or so before Roseanne. But that brought in like those working class white people sitcoms.
Yeah.
Roseanne was great. I watched. She was like sick. She took sitcom to like a level that kind of transcended the genre. She did a lot of
Yeah, no, I
dramatic
agree.
episodes.
Yeah, she did
Bionic
her and
Woman. I had the Bionic Woman. Oh, I didn't, but my stepsister did. But I played with her. The Bionic
oh.
Woman action figure, and she had all the gadgets. She had a little bag with all these little
Oh.
gadgets, and I think she had an eyeball that could a
I don't
bionic
know.
eye or something. She was fun to play with. She had the best toys, way better than the Bionic Man.
Yeah, I was
And
an
they had
only child. Or go ahead.
no, go ahead. You were an only child.
I was just saying I was an only child, so once I was done playing with my friends, once dinner time was, over with, I had to go home and stuff. And I just sit there watching TV. So I watched like, old people shows.
Oh yeah, so you were a TV baby.
Kind of, yeah. My mom, like, we watched Cheers, like I said, the other ones. They did watch Rugrats with me. I remember being like, "Can we watch Rugrats?" But they liked that show. Like it was cute. But I was kind of like a TV kid. I mean, my aunt would make dinner. We'd have dinner as a family. But we always had dinner as a family in front of the TV.
Like in the
But
living room.
yeah,
Yeah, we had the TV trays, and then we had little TV trays for the kids. It was the same way. I to this day I associate eating and watching TV at the same time. It's like one activity for me.
yeah, that's true. Me too. I have to. I don't know why,
I
but
can't imagine sitting at a dinner table as a family and just eating and talking when you could be sitting in front of a TV watching a TV show.
I mean, we would talk a little bit. But we're like, shh, the commercials were on. That's when you could watch commercials. When the commercials
You
would
had
come on,
to.
we'd have a little talk.
You were stuck with them. Yeah. Oh, I remember Wonder. Yeah, that was another one. Wonder Woman. That I love that one. And Linda Carter. Oh my God, she was the most beautiful, majestic woman. She was the perfect image of a woman back then. Like she just if you met somebody in real life that was like Linda Carter. Oh my God. And she had her invisible airplane, and then Shazam was another one we watched. He was another superhero. You weren't allowed to watch TV. Oh my God. That's
Did you have to
child
sneak
abuse.
it?
The TV was always something. If I wasn't watching a specific show, it was just something to do when there was nothing else to do. It was like on in the background. I never glued
Yeah.
myself in front of the TV. There always had to be some specific reason to watch it. Otherwise, I would go read a book or play outside or play with
Oh
my
yeah.
friends or something like that.
I'd
TV was
I'd play. Yeah.
the default when there was absolutely nothing else to do.
No, I agree. I mean, I'd play with my friends all day long, and then finally, after hours and hours, I had to go home. And I didn't want to. I wanted to play all day long and all night.
Yeah, we used to go spend the night at each other's house and keep the play going.
Yeah, we did too. I was lucky, like where I live, and right next door to me was one of my friends. And right next door to her was one of my friends. Like across the street, like we're all the same age. We just lucked out. Like there was a girl that lived across the street. We were the same age, so we were like always hanging out and walking around the
Yeah.
neighborhood, talking, just having
Yep.
fun. But
Yep. That's how it was. That's
that
how I
was
thought it would always be.
that's true. I mean, you never see any kids in neighborhoods like just running around playing.
I'm told they don't do that anymore. That everything's dangerous, and plus their days are structured now. They have extracurricular activities.
Yeah.
And they're inside in front of the screens too. They're not playing outside with other kids when they can be inside playing video games, watching things on streaming, and interacting with other kids through video like we do.
Yeah.
There's no
My
reason to go
son
play
like
outside with them.
my son, he luckily before we moved back home, before we moved back into my parents' home, we lived in this nice neighborhood, and luckily for a while, for about 5 or 6 years, the neighbors, we called them the neighbors, but they were across the street neighbors, and they had a son and a daughter around Luke's age or my son's age, and so they were always, because the son and daughter didn't really get along together. But if my son was over there, like he was able to keep them like from fighting. So his parents would like beg me, which would be fine. Like they're like, "Can Luke come over, please?" I was like, "Sure, of course." So he would hang out over there all the time. So that was good.
That's another thing. We learned how to manage conflict among ourselves. And sometimes the older kids would have, but we didn't need adults policing us and supervising us constantly.
No, yeah, I didn't have that, but I think it'll get. I don't know. Hopefully, the next generation. But from what I hear, like Gen Zs really don't want to have kids.
The next generation, I think, is going to be raised by AI. I don't know what we're going to get.
Yeah.
This is the social media generation. So at least they're raised by content more or less created by other humans. But we're going to have a whole generation raised by content created by machines or generated by machines.
Yeah. We'll see. But anyways, what time is it? 4? It's almost 5. I gotta start getting dinner together. Thanks for the talk, Jeff.
Oh yeah, sure. Thanks for
And
coming up.
everyone down below. Thanks for listening. And you have a great day. Have a good night, and probably won't talk to you tomorrow, but sometime around, I'll stop in and see how you're doing. And I need the Discord invite one of these days, if you want to invite me.
Yeah, I can put it in the back. Hang on, let me grab it.
I'm like, if you want to invite me.
Yeah, we just try to filter out trolls and strange people. We at least try to make sure they are kind of strange first.
Okay.
All right, there it is.
But you have a great day. And thank you. And bye, everyone. Have a wonderful night, everyone.
You too. Take care. Bye, Jess.
Thanks, Jeff. Bye.
Yeah, that's how we were too, Lou. We had very little. Partly because it was 2 reasons. My mom was very much into her own life. Like we all did our own. Like we all had our own lives, and we did our own things. And so my mom had her own life, and as long as she could focus on that, she didn't have. She let us focus on our own thing. And this was the worst part of all. This is like the worst, almost the worst way to discipline and instill morality in a kid, but it's effective with the right kids. The second reason is she trusted us. She had such blind faith in her children that we were her kids. Of course, we were going to behave like it never crossed her mind that we were going to do anything but reflect well on her. And so to have that kind of trust and burden placed on you very young, like you don't want to lose that. When an adult gives you that kind of trust, like you don't want to fuck that up as a kid. You're like, damn, they trust me that much. I at least want to be worthy of that. And so that was a lot to live up to. Like she really trusts us. Like I'd feel horrible if that trust was all misplaced. Like I want to live up to that ideal she has of her kids. That's what motivated for me. It was like intrinsic. So yeah, I wasn't a bad kid. I'll tell you who the bad kids were. And there were some. Every single time I was not a bad kid. I might get into situations from ignorance and not really realizing. That happened a lot, but I wasn't intentionally trying to think of ways to be mischievous and bad. Every time some kind of play or game turned bad, it was because some girl, some neighborhood girl came and thought of a way to make it sadistic or cruel or dangerous or risky. It was not the guys. Every time the guys were playing, we were playing superheroes or cowboys and Indians or detective or exploring outer space or something fun. The girls would come along and why don't we do this thing? Why don't we light smoke bombs and use the flame to set the grass on fire? Or why don't we go stir up this nest of bees in this tree over here and see what it was always the girls that were thinking of a way to make it mischievous or dangerous. So me on my own, I played just fine by myself. And when the girls came along, that's the way. What if we like stuck this stick in dog doo-doo and gave it to our younger brother and made him chase us with it and called him the doo-doo baby? Jeff would never. But you thought of that. That was girls. The girls. The girls. Now I admit that me and my stepbrother did think of the ride 2 on the banana seat bike and have the driver close their eyes and the passenger would navigate them like out of traffic, hopefully away from the dogs that would chase you every time we turned this one particular curve on this lane. And most importantly, the sewage ditch. That was 50-50 every time. Whether we'd come home covered in sewage or come home clean. And that was us. That was the boys. But outside of that, it was mostly the girls. Right. I'm telling you, the guys, we thought of fun stuff to do, but it was not. We weren't trying to like push boundaries. We were just trying to like we climbed on roofs, we climbed trees, we jumped off of things. We thought of how much fun we could like we tried to maximize the fun. But it was never to be rebellious or push boundaries. It was the girls that were always thinking, how can we make this a little more X-rated or sinister or the norm? All right, I guess that's enough for memory lane today. I will be around either tomorrow, probably tonight, and we'll probably be hanging out in the Discord later watching Survivor or other TV shows. So have a good rest of your day. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you then, whatever then is. What is then? Glad I could bring some light and joy and satanic darkness into your life. Until then, praise Jesus, hail Satan.